Hello, ancestors, spirit guides, and angels. I call you into my space to assist me with yet another collective reading on this Tuesday, the 15th of October, 2024. But I trust that whoever sees this will receive the messages. If you're watching this, you're meant to see this. And I pray that our ancestors, spirit guides, and angels protect our minds, bodies, and spirits as I receive and channel messages from the Most High. You know that it is my intention to align us all with healing, joy, and the most authentic version of ourselves. So now I invite you to set an intention and a prayer of your own for this collective reading. And last but definitely not least, I pray that the Most High and the Divine bless us with the gift of wisdom and discernment so that we are able to acknowledge what is meant for us and what is not, so that we may be able to take empowered action that is in alignment with our highest and greatest good. I say, how are y'all feeling? How are y'all feeling? How are y'all feeling? Eclipse season still did a number on me, but I just now feel like I'm recovering for real, for real. But with recovery on the way, I'm feeling good, and I feel like I'm just recalibrating and ready to get back to my regular degular. You feel me? Ooh, I love that. I already did a self-love ritual bath last night, and a spider showed up. Would you look at that? Also, happy Hoodoo Heritage Month, everybody. Is there something that y'all would like to know about Hoodoo? Is there something I could bring that y'all would find of value? You just saw 2:22 on the clock. Please let me know if you have any information or insights or anything you want me to be aware of as it relates to another Two of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Repeating twos are important, I'm hearing. I'm seeing. Rather. But let's get into it, right? We're just gonna, let me pull this a little bit closer, because y'all know I be having issues with the sound. Mic check 1 2 1 2. My favorite hoodoo tip and trick. I could do that. My favorite hoodoo tips and tricks. That would be a good video. Let me write that down. Good one. Stay tuned. But let's get into it. Hello, ancestors, spirit guides, and angels, God and the Most High. I call you into my space to assist me with this collective reading. What messages do you have for the collective right now? I feel like there's just one message for us. At least that's what I'm picking up right now. Usually there's like 2 or 3, but right now I'm just picking up on one. So make sure you set intentions to receive clarification on anything you need clarification on. Thank you. Thank you. I'm seeing a clear end to what's not working. Like, and I just want to look at these 3 cards. Usually I pull 8 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Like a clear end to what is not working. Justice card connecting us to Libra energy right in the middle of Libra season. You know what I mean? And I've been like really like focusing in on and understanding Libra energy lately. And one of the things that continues to come through is that like Libra is very much about considering the other party, the other person, the other group, you know, so that we can continue to balance the scales and to be fair, just, and diplomatic, right? But the whole process of like balancing, and in some ways this may seem like a little bit shallow when it comes to Libra, but this message has just come through in a number of ways of acknowledging like what is the benefit, right? Acknowledging what is the benefit. right? When you're dealing with another, be it your job, your friendships, your relationships, your family members, what is the benefit that you're actually receiving from the other person? And when we talk about relationships, I don't feel like we talk often enough about, how the other party is benefiting our lives and whether they're benefiting our lives or not, right? I love it. Like, I know we talk a lot about, like, oh, romance and love and how they make you feel. But when it comes to the facts, again, justice card, facts, logic, pure information, no feelings, right? When we look at it on paper, when we break it down on paper, and then I'm also hearing this is related to somebody's like relationship with their money and their finances. Excuse me, truth burp. What is the benefit, right? And it may feel a little like shallow, or shallow. Maybe shallow isn't the right word, or maybe even like callous, to look at your relationships, all of them, and ask yourself, what am I getting out of this relationship? What am I getting out of this friendship? What am I getting out of this partnership? Right? And just what I'm getting here is like we're putting it in maybe to the relationships, and maybe not the relationships as a whole, but to the dynamics that are not bringing a benefit into our lives. Right? Ten of Swords, the end of a story, of a narrative. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Something that is not working. Eight of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Moving on from one emotional situation that we are no longer getting value out of and moving on to another. Right? So yeah, that's just really what I'm picking up on. That feels really like clear and succinct now. Um, but that's just something I've been asking myself, right? Like, what is the benefit that I'm getting out of X, Y, and Z? Yusuf says people hate being perceived as selfish, but it's a necessity. And it absolutely is. It absolutely is. And not even from the perspective of like ensuring that you're not being taken advantage of, which is relevant. But again, it's being pragmatic. It's looking at like if we truly live abundance lives. And again, my definition of abundance is a little different from other people's. When people talk about abundance, they talk about, having all the good things and all the nice things and all the great things that the world has to offer. I believe that like abundance is our birthright, but abundance isn't just having like all of the good things. Abundance is having all of the bad things, all the awful things, all the okay things, all the things you don't really care about, all the things that you're ambivalent towards. You know what I mean? Abundance is more than enough of everything, right? And when we're going through life and figuring out what is it that we want to keep, the only way to do that is by asking, how has this benefited my life? Does this offer or add value to my life? Right? Does this fall in alignment with my values? Right? Connecting us back to Venus. Right? Who rules the sign of Libra. So, as the days go on, continue to ask yourself, what makes sense for me? What is the best thing for me, myself, and I? Yeah. And how do I balance the scale so that they're balanced in my favor? And then even when we look at like with some of the transits that we're going through, right? I believe when like the moon went through the eclipse at the beginning of the month, the moon was in Libra, but it was also really close to Lilith. And Lilith is the point where the moon is the furthest from Earth, right? And if you're familiar with like Lilith's story, she was Adam's first wife, but Lilith did not want to be Adam's husband. And God was like, either you can obey me and be Adam's wife, or you can get kicked out the garden and do your own thing. And Lilith was like, okay, I'm leaving the garden and doing my own thing. All right? And again, with the South Node being in the sign of Libra, it really does feel like Libra, who is usually considering other people, other parties, other groups, it's saying, I'm going to obey myself. I'm going to make sure that like my needs are taken care of and I'm able to do the things that I want to do. Yeah. Be careful though, because Lilith is a tricky energy, right? Because she left, but there's like no rules outside of the Garden of Eden. And sometimes she's identified as like the mother of demons. Yeah. But let's see. What else do we have? Emperor card, King of Cups upright. This one wants to come up. Star card in reverse. Kind of what I'm getting is that like some people are like waiting. Some people are waiting. Definitely a little dangerous, you said. Some people are waiting. Because the thing is like, and this is just an example, right? When dealing with energies like Lilith, like she decided to leave the garden, right, of Eden. So she left the abundance that was found, or the structure, or the order, or the predictability that was found in the Garden of Eden. But when she left, she opened herself up to chaos, you know. And again, she was able to rule and do whatever it was that she wanted to do out there. So she was able to live the type of life that she wanted to, but she also had to do it by opening herself up to chaos, right? And again, this just falls in line with what I say, right? There's no good and there's no bad. When it comes to spirituality, there are just actions and consequences, right? So we are able to pull ourselves away from this other party that some of us have been considering too much, or we haven't been considering ourselves enough, which is more the energy that I'm picking up on right now. But there's going to be a dynamic change. There's going to be a dynamic shift, right? So, like, let's say that you were really super considerate of, you know, the needs of your job or your work, right? Like, they always needed somebody to stay a little late, somebody to do a little overtime, right? And the benefit of that was that, like, the people at your job, they gave you certain perks, they gave you certain privileges. You know what I mean? You could take a vacation whenever you wanted without them saying anything. But if you decide, okay, I don't want to stay late anymore, you might lose out on that benefit. You may lose out on that extra perk, right? It's not right or wrong, but kind of what I'm getting here, kind of the point that I'm getting to right here with this star card in reverse, is that some of us, we've been putting our benefit, our well-being, our emotional well-being, you know, our feeling protected and safe and stable into the future, right? If I do X, then Y will come down later down the line, right? And this is like, again, Libra tends to have like some people pleasing tendencies, right? If I do X, this person is going to treat me this way. If I do X, this person is going to give me Y. With the sun card, with the star card, I'm sorry, in reverse, and the Seven of Cups in reverse, that's an option that a lot of us have been waiting for quite some time, but it just hasn't gotten to us. It just hasn't gotten here, right? And so with this Emperor card and this King of Cups upright, this feels like I'm going to take charge of my own emotional well-being before anything goes down, before I start considering any external parties, before I offer a piece of myself over to anybody else. I'm going to make sure that all of my boxes are checked. Damn how anybody else is feeling. Right? Knight of Swords in reverse, Three of Wands in reverse, Seven of Swords in reverse, Five of Pentacles in reverse. There's this just like, and not talking about it. And then there's this like, I'm not going to talk about it. This is just what it's going to be. Right? I'm going to make sure my needs are taken care of. And once my needs are taken care of, then we can have a conversation. But if my needs aren't taken care of, then I'm paying it. Yeah? Because somebody is really tired of their cup being half empty. What else do we have for this collective? Do not call me Judge Judy. This may be a little different. This may be a bit of a different message. Somebody feels trapped by a relationship. Somebody is feeling trapped by a relationship with this Page of Wands and Two of Cups. And it's just like, it's a good relationship, but it's not a great relationship, with the Devil card in reverse and the Temperance card in reverse. And I'm also kind of getting that this relationship, maybe it's a little young. That could be it. But with this Temperance card in reverse, it just kind of feels like, because I don't even think that like crowing is the word. It really does. With the Temperance card, it feels like energetic shifting and changing, right? Because if I saw any of the pentacles, I would say this person or the people in this relationship don't feel like it's growing or it's moving forward in one direction. But when we talk about the Temperance card, it's much more spiritual than that. It's a lot more spiritual than that. It's a whole lot more spiritual than that, right? We're like, we are taking our emotional experiences and growing with wisdom, and then we're actually taking them, learning from them, and creating something entirely new. Something that is in alignment with the type of lives that we want to live, right? And somebody is ready to move on from this work not happening or this work not taking place. Again, going back to that example of your job, right? You have the hope that, like, okay, I'm continuing to work overtime and overtime and overtime. You're hoping that at some point in time, your job is going to say, hey, we need more people on staff. We need to hire more employees. We need to change the scheduling structure, or add like a midday shift or anything like that. But that process is continuing not to happen, right? It's continuing not to happen. And then you get to the point where you say, well, I got to move on, right? I got to move on. I got to try something else. I got to tap in a little bit differently. Can we get an action plan? There's the Eight of Cups came out in reverse again. This is very interesting. With the Wheel of Fortune in reverse and the Eight of Cups in reverse now, I'm getting that if you do decide to move on, that you do decide to transform, you do decide to try something else, that it may not be forever, right? It may not be forever. It's just going to be for right now. Mm-hmm. There's something about the energy here. And again, like later on, the full moon is going to be in Aries. And something really interesting about the Aries full moon that we have coming up is that the moon in Aries, and the moon is ruled by Cancer, but Mars is in Cancer and Mars is ruled by Aries, right? That these two energies, they're conflicting with each other, and there's this weird swap off, right? Where the moon, who is usually like nurturing and emotional and sensitive, and feels their way through things. So the soul is going to feel very active and agitated and feels like it's time to fight and to conquer and say, I, and start to work from the ego, right? Mars is more connected to the ego, right? I need, I want, root chakra, I will take type of energy, right? The moon is a lot more subconscious, right? Now, when we talk about Mars being in Cancer, the Mars does not like being in Cancer. Mars does not like being in Cancer. So that natural ability to act, to attack, to make happen, to force and initiate change and to go after its ambitions is going to feel a lot more like a wishy-washy, a lot more emotional, maybe passive aggressive, maybe going about things in an emotional sideways type of route, right? So this really weird like exchange of energies could contribute to some of the things that I'm seeing right now, and just saying that some of the changes that we make could be a little more temporary, right? But again, the divine is still saying with this Knight of Wands and this Nine of Wands that we need to just do it, right? It is time to take action and to change and to act a little selfishly and to act a little different. And then and this is, I love this, right? Again, with that switch off of energy, we need to be tired of becoming selfish, but many of us, we have not been selfish enough, right? We're paying attention to the ways that we've abandoned our own wants and needs and desires. And once we become tired of, of being selfish, we will retreat and find some sort of balance, right? Temperance card in reverse, Empress card, Four of Wands in reverse, and find a new safe space. Find another way to be feminine and soft and receptive. But I'm just not seeing that that's going to happen anytime soon, right? I'm seeing that, again, we got to go through the entire process, right? The sad thing about this, with this Four of Wands, Empress card in reverse, and Temperance card in reverse, it's kind of like our feminine energy feels kind of like exhausted, tapped out, abused, ignored, unhappy, dissatisfied. She's just not feeling it right now. She's just not feeling it right now, and she knows that something else is out there, and she's ready to manifest it with the Seven of Cups, right? Just something else. This like Empress card really just wants something else. She might not know what else, but she knows that something out there is better than what she currently has. I'm dropping all my cards. Okay, let's get an oracle card, please and thank you. Okay, so first we have the Tree of Wisdom. This tree dryad will help you navigate through your current situation. Her flute can reveal insights and answers through the sounds it makes. This tree dryad invites you to tune in to an ancient tree of wisdom and to allow it to imbue your aura. She plays upon her wooden flute to attract your attention through its enchanting sound and vibration, and wishes you to know that your present situation can be helped when you connect with trees. Hugging a tree is a great way to have direct physical contact and form an energetic connection. Always ask permission from the tree before doing this. Take a few moments to visualize yourself deeply rooted in the ground, just like the tree, and say in your mind or out loud, "I wish to connect with you. May I hug you, tree?" You should receive an instantaneous answer, which may come across as a word or a feeling. Trust this. Trees offer their wisdom through different gifts, depending on the season. In the spring and summer months, tree blossoms can be very healing and uplifting. In cooler seasons of autumn and winter, the trees shed their leaves, knowing that there will be new growth in the springtime. The same goes for you. The fairies say tree wisdom can help you shed any unwanted cares or concerns. So learn to release with love and know that new spiritual growth will come to you when the time is right. Again, like I was saying, right? Like this, like releasing things, and then they're going to come back later on in the future. Tree wisdom is knowing that birds, insects, and animals will carry the tree seeds far away so that they can grow in their own right, literally in their own light. Perhaps it is time for you to move away from a situation that is stunting your growth, or for a general move to allow a new set of circumstances to open up in your life. That sounds like what I said. That moving away from this job, from this situation, from this circumstance, from this way of always like considering this other party is really, 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 really going to be good for you. And now we're going to read from the African Goddess Rising. We have Sache, grounding. It's the number 3. Repeating 3s may be of importance because we also had the Empress, which correlates to number 3. Sache, the goddess of grounding. Kyokian, South Africa, temple of ancestors in the element of bush. Excuse me. You may know great enchantress Sache as Sartji or Sarah Bartman, the woman forced to perform as a Hottentot Venus in 19th century London. But before that, she was Sache, a Kyokan girl in South Africa who deserved better. Sache's guidance: protect your magic. Your heart is your own, your body is your own, your mind is your own. Your truth and story are your own. Be rooted in your truth. Create healthy boundaries. And then the embodiment. Your energy is unsteady. Breathe. Come into the present. Say out loud, I am here. Trauma, stress, overwhelm, and anxiety and fear disconnect you from your body. Grounding keeps you present. When you feel rootless or unsettled, come back to your breath. Meditation and breath work are grounding. Try earthing, connecting your feet to the soil. Free writing, clapping, stomping, and rubbing your hands together are all grounding. And the goddess declaration: I'm firmly planted and deeply rooted. That's my loves. A lot about connecting to earth and trees. Just with the combined messages of these 2 cards, I highly recommend grounding by an actual tree, which involves like taking your shoes and socks off and getting your feet on the actual soil. The earth is a lovely resource for connecting you to the natural cycles, the natural energies that are occurring all around us. And there's actually an exchange of electric energy that really doesn't happen unless our feet or our bodies are touching, raw earth. Yes, my loves? Okay, but that concludes our collective reading. I'm gonna get one more card. I thought that concluded our collective reading, but I was wrong. Ooh. Okay. The lasting message with this 10 of Cups in reverse and the King of Wands in reverse at the bottom of the deck is just paying attention to, and this can go a number of ways, right? Paying attention to how selfish and reckless energy could be leading to your emotional dissatisfaction, and or how emotional dissatisfaction and depression can keep you from trying out new opportunities and exploring elsewhere, right? It's kind of like, it kind of feels like a vicious cycle. It really does feel like a vicious cycle, but what I'm hearing is this is a push from the universe, the Most High, and the divine to, to really break this cycle. You really do have to step out of this weird comfort zone. And like, this is something I heard, I don't know where I heard this, but it's popping up now, is that like in many ways we are our habits. And until like our habits create our lifestyle, and then until we create different habits, we will not become new people. And something else I saw this morning, there was this girl talking about like pancakes. She was just talking about pancakes. She's like, you take a pancake, you flip it over, it's still a pancake. But you can put fresh strawberries on a pancake, you can put strawberry syrup on a pancake, powdered sugar, you know what I mean? You can cut the pancakes up. You can take the strawberries off. You can do whipped cream. You can have blueberry, chocolate chip pancakes. But all the things to the pancakes you have to put on top of the pancakes. You can even decide that you don't want pancakes, that you could want a Belgian waffle or French toast. Right? And the metaphor what she was making was that like the pancake is our life, or we are the pancake. Right? And if you are a pancake, what are the type of pancakes do you like to eat? What type of pancakes do you want? Nobody is gonna make triple decker raspberry, blueberry, white chocolate chip pancakes for you. If those are the type of pancakes you want, you have to go out and find the strawberries, the white chocolate chips, and the triple deckers yourself and add them into your life and to create a new habit to make that your reality. Does that make sense? That's the message I'm getting. I know it feels kind of rando, but that's all I have for you, loves. Please thank your ancestors, spirit guides, and angels. If you want to get more insight about what specifically is for you, check out the link in the description bar. I love you all. Yeah. Thank your ancestors, spirit guides, and angels. I think I said that already. If you want to join my tarot class, check out the description bar. Check out all my offerings in the description bar, honestly. And that's all. Until next time, this is XMO. Bye-bye.